Right now at 6, a head-on crash on I-49 turns fatal for 3 people.
And we've got another beautiful day out there, even warmer, as if yesterday wasn't great enough. It's going to be better. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Cherokee County commissioners discuss the procedures for getting and giving a raise.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday. It is February the 25th.
Yes.
And it feels a lot more like March 25th.
Definitely can't complain out there.
No, like I said, I don't think anybody's really complaining, especially after the last week. I think Mother Nature's, maybe she felt bad. I'm not sure.
I would if I did that to people.
Oh my gosh, no kidding. But it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been great. Yesterday was beautiful, beautiful.
And the good news is, at least for a while, we're going to be settling into a pretty decent pattern. And that, of course, this Saturday, first day of March, and we're going to continue with this March-like weather into March, which is good because it can snow as late as April in the 4 states. We'll have to see what happens over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, let's get you through your Tuesday with a quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Looks great. There's a little bit of snow left here and there. There will not be any snow left by the end of today. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline also looking fantastic. And we showed you this before. I'm going to show you this one last time. But here's where we, I think, are at this point. We had our full spring back in January. We got our second winter in between that point and like last week. Now we're in the spring of deception. I do believe we've got one more little winter peak coming, probably toward the end of March. Then we'll get into the pollinating, followed by actual spring. And, of course, it won't take long before we're at the center of the sun. That is always a fun time as well. But we're doing okay. Today, a great day. A few clouds here and there. Temperatures a little warmer today than they were yesterday. Just absolutely beautiful textbook March weather out there. Clouds begin to increase this evening and overnight ahead of our slight rain chances as we head into Wednesday. We'll talk about those a little later. It is a little bit chilly in spots. We got 28 now in Chautauqua as the cold spot. It was Miami earlier. We've got some low 30s, but most locations into the upper 30s right now and a few low 40s. So kids, get on the bus. Probably do want a light jacket. Upper 30s, low 40s, few clouds. Winds will be calm, which is good. And when that bus brings them home, similar situation. Just a few clouds, about 69. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Ahead of highs today, upper 60s, low 70s, just a few clouds, and a nice southwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Another gorgeous day. Maybe open up the house, get some fresh air in there. It's definitely a good opportunity to do that. We'll have another look at your forecast. We'll talk about how long this warm weather lasts, and we will talk about those rain chances with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, 3 people are dead after a crash involving a car driving the wrong way on Interstate 49. Now, it happened Sunday night in McDonald County, Missouri, near Pineville. Authorities say an SUV was southbound in the northbound lane when it collided head-on with a car. The crash killed all 3 people who were in the 2 vehicles. A 63-year-old woman from Bella Vista, Arkansas, drove the SUV. A 43-year-old man and a 33-year-old woman, both from Kansas City, were in the car. All 3 died at the scene. A woman is critically injured from a crash on Missouri 171 in Jasper County yesterday. Authorities say the woman drove her car into the rear end of a tractor trailer that was traveling at normal highway speed, about 65 to 70 miles per hour in the Brooklyn Heights area. Now, the woman was taken by medical helicopter to a Springfield hospital. A male passenger in the car has moderate injuries. The truck driver is not hurt. Fire crews are investigating an explosion that happened at a hotel in Branson, Missouri yesterday. Fire officials believe a natural gas leak may have caused the blast. Now, no guests were inside their rooms at the time, but one employee suffered minor injuries. And a suspect wanted in connection to a shooting investigation is now behind bars. The Jasper County Prosecuting Attorney's Office issued a warrant for Andrew M. Reed of Joplin for multiple charges, including unlawful use of a weapon, unlawful possession of a firearm, and first-degree property damage. Authorities booked Reed into the Joplin jail yesterday. The investigation stems from an incident on February 15th, shortly after 2 a.m. when Joplin police received reports of shots fired in the area of 5th and Joplin. Now, officers found no suspects or victims, but at least 2 vehicles and 2 buildings had been damaged by gunfire. And a Kansas game warden takes a suspect into custody after a multi-county pursuit with air support. It happened Sunday, starting in Neosho County and crossing into Crawford County. It started as a vehicle chase, then a crash into a creek, a foot chase, a UTV chase, back to a foot pursuit, ending east of Pittsburgh near 30th and 570th Avenue. Now, troopers put up air support, and along with the Crawford County Sheriff's Office and Kansas Wildlife and Parks game wardens, they set up a perimeter. Troopers were able to find the 29-year-old suspect from Fort Scott, and a game warden took him into custody. EMS took the man to a local hospital for possible injuries suffered during the crash. Now, online court documents do not list any active charges at this time. A police chase in Galena, Kansas ends in a crash. Galena police responded to a call Sunday night after a resident reported a suspect attempting to break into their home. Officers located the suspect's vehicle near 7th and Short Street and attempted a traffic stop, but the driver fled, leading police on a pursuit. Now, the chase ended when the suspect crashed in a field near 90th and Plum Road. The suspect then ran from the scene but was quickly arrested. Galena police say the suspect will face multiple charges, including felony stealing and fleeing from law enforcement. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's, of course, available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, in a meeting yesterday, the Cherokee County Commission discussed whether elected officials in the county could give themselves a raise. Now, this comes after the Cherokee County clerk gave herself a raise of more than $14,000. KOAM's Samantha Walker has the details.
At a meeting earlier this month, commissioners say they were caught off guard by an unexpected raise given to the Cherokee County Clerk, Rebecca Brassert, an increase of more than $14,000. Commissioners say the elected official had given herself the raise without the commission's knowledge. The clerk has worked with the county for more than 2 decades. We spoke with Brassert, who says she thought she was going through the correct process because it was how other county positions have gotten raises in the past. We spoke with one commissioner who says in the past, elected officials have given themselves small raises that were approved by the commission in payroll, but they say this raise was so significant and so sudden, with the commission having no prior knowledge of it, that it drew questions of what was allowed. At the time, commissioners set the clerk's pay back to the amount it had been prior to the new raise, just under $46,000 for the clerk position. Commissioners asked the county councilor to look into what precedent there was for elected officials, like county clerks, granting themselves raises or whether they had to be approved by the county commission. The councilor says the county handbook indicates it's up to the commission to approve salaries. He says he also looked at other cases across the state involving elected officials and changes to their salaries, which also indicate those changes had to first be approved by the county commission. The councilor says therefore raises in Cherokee County must be approved by the commission. The county councilor advised the Cherokee County Commission that they should look at setting a resolution that would set salaries for elected offices. He recommends that resolution explicitly say what positions like sheriff, county attorney, and county clerks make. Reporting in Cherokee County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, currently, there aren't set salaries. The commission just approves payroll bi-weekly. Commissioners say they will look into adopting a resolution setting those elected officials' salaries within the coming weeks. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The U.S. egg shortage has forced businesses to turn to Turkey for egg imports to meet growing demand. Plus, federal employees face a new deadline to submit work accomplishments or risk getting fired. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, crafting and fabrics retailer Joann is set to close all of its locations. The closures to come follow the company's auction sale to a new ownership group. The chain filed for bankruptcy twice over the last year with plans to keep some locations open, but now Joann says it will close all of its more than 800 locations. It will end a run of more than 80 years in business. The company opened its first location in Cleveland, Ohio in 1943. Well, the current U.S. egg shortage has led businesses to look for supply beyond our borders. Now, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation, Turkey is the only country the United States imports eggs from. Now, Turkey is set to export 420 million eggs to the United States this year, which, according to the Egg Procedures Central Union in Turkey, is the most ever. Experts warn the increase in egg imports won't make much of a dent in America's egg shortage. Well, this morning, federal employees have a new deadline to send in a list of work accomplishments from last week. Elon Musk is giving them a second chance after his Monday deadline came and went, still threatening job losses for those who don't comply. But there's now new confusion from President Trump's Office of Management and Budget over whether this is required and who's checking the work. Meanwhile, Monday, optimism from President Trump on reaching an end to Russia's three-year war in Ukraine, discussing the deadly invasion with key European ally France. Jared Hill has more from New York.
From the Oval Office, President Donald Trump praised Elon Musk for his email to nearly 2 million federal workers threatening terminations if they don't send in a list of 5 things they did at work last week.
There was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working.
Hours before the Monday deadline, Musk ordered an extension, warning failure to respond a second time will result in termination. But then confusion after Trump's Office of Personnel Management sent a memo to federal agency heads saying it was up to them to determine how to handle the DOGE directive. Some have already told workers not to respond. The massive cuts of thousands of federal employees has sparked outrage. Voters are confronting Republican members of Congress during town halls back in their home districts.
Obviously, people are mad, and we're mad too.
The unrest at home comes as President Trump met with French President Emmanuel Macron at the White House, expressing optimism that a deal to end Russia's war in Ukraine could be just weeks away, now 3 years after it all began.
A lot of good things toward peace are happening.
Both leaders agreed to establish a peacekeeping force in Ukraine if and when a deal is reached. But the president continues to split with European allies on blaming Russia for the war.
This is the responsibility of Russia because the aggressor is Russia.
Later, Russian President Vladimir Putin signaled that a peace deal could be further away than Trump's proposed timeline. President Trump is set to host British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, another key European ally, later this week. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And on the trade front, President Trump yesterday said he believes Ukraine is close to signing a minerals deal with the U.S. The president also said planned 25% tariffs on all imports from Canada and Mexico are still on schedule to begin next month, following a month-long pause. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, I got another beautiful day out there. So far, we got clear skies. We'll have a few clouds pass by here and there, but otherwise, again, not a bad day at all. Full look at your forecast when we come back.
The University of Vermont dining hall employee was struck by tragedy after her home was damaged in a fire, but one student decided to step up and lend a hand. Claire Jones reports.
Starshover starts her day as she has for 31 years.
I think it's important every day to start your day out with a smile.
At the Harris Millis Dining Hall at UVM, making sure students are fed. But her smile became harder to sustain after the unimaginable happened on Christmas Day. She and her family lost their home to a fire.
You know, I had a lot on my plate, but coming into here, my kids are my first priority. So, you know, I have my kids coming through and then Duncan coming through.
Enter UVM sophomore Duncan Starkenberg.
I walk in and right on cue, she's like, hey, how you doing? How was your break? And I was like, my break was amazing. How was yours? And then she was a little hesitant.
I said, well, you know, I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I said, you know, Christmas Day, I got burnt out of my home, my house, inhabitable.
I knew that I needed to do something about it.
Starkenberg immediately got to work, putting together a fundraiser.
I know there's enough people here in the community that have been touched by Star that we can help get her back on her feet.
He spread the word.
Just sent it to a couple of my friends. I posted it on like Instagram, the Snapchat story.
And it quickly took off.
Within maybe an hour or two, we had raised $500, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I knew Star had touched so many people's lives. I just didn't realize quite how many.
Within a couple of days, the fundraiser passed its $5,000 goal and has since doubled.
I cried. I couldn't believe that for my kids to do that, and Duncan, and it's an amazing thing to have your kids care for you.
Out of heartbreak blossomed friendship, like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
I had a concert the other week, and I got a text right before I go. She's like, drive safely. I can't wait to see you on Tuesday. Keep smiling. She gave me one of these.
Duncan's a great kid. What he did for me was amazing.
A lesson you can't always learn in a classroom. That light can still shine through despite dark times.
Incredible. Now let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Take a look at this absolutely beautiful shot from downtown Pittsburgh of that sunrise ahead of another beautiful day. A full look at your forecast comes up right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, coming up on 6:23 on this Tuesday morning, and look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful look at the sunrise downtown Pittsburgh. You can see just a few clouds, and that's what we're expecting through the day today, just a few clouds. Got another great look at that sunrise. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Folks getting their day underway, and it's going to be another beautiful one. Just a few clouds here and there through the day, and then later this afternoon into the evening, clouds will begin to increase, and that's going to lead to mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight, and eventually some shower chances tomorrow. Now, our shower chances tomorrow aren't fantastic, and they do technically run all day, but the better chances, which again aren't all that great to start with, are going to be before 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You can see we'll have these scattered showers across the region, or even isolated showers, maybe some sprinkles here and there. Not much to write home about, but a little bit of rain possible, and maybe it will be just enough to help your car and help clear off some of the salt stuff off the roadways. Now, once we get past this boundary, well, ahead of it we'll have south winds, behind it we'll have north winds. Our temperature's cooler tomorrow, but they don't plummet, so that does mean a bit of a chillier start for Thursday. But by Thursday afternoon, temperatures start to rebound again. We'll still have a northwest breeze, but back above average for many of us as we go into Thursday afternoon. Temperatures right now, it's a mixed bag. We don't really have any winds stirring anything up, so we did have a little bit of a mixed bag of temperatures. For example, we got a 10-degree difference just from Miami to Joplin. 29 in Miami, 39 in Joplin, 32 up in Pittsburgh, 40 now, Yates Center, 41, and Bentonville, Cassville, and Monette now sitting up at 43. So that is a bit mixed, but all of us will eventually get in on what is going to be another beautiful day. That's another shot there from 7th and range line of that sunrise. Just absolutely gorgeous. Looks fantastic, and it's going to be fantastic. Upper 30s, low 40s to start. Mostly clear skies, pushing close to 60 by 11 a.m. As we head through the day, a few clouds here and there. Highs about 70. Now, again, we have a 15 county coverage area. This is the average, but some of us may be the upper 60s, others maybe into the low 70s. So another mild day, and not as breezy as yesterday. Yesterday still wasn't bad. The winds weren't that bad, but it'll be even calmer today. Southwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And the other thing to note is the sunshine icon at 6. If you didn't catch it starting yesterday, because our sunset is now past the 6 p.m. mark. And it's going to keep getting a little later and a little later as time goes on here. So we're starting to settle into that warmer trend eventually. Again, clouds increasing this evening. That does help slow down the temperature drop. So we're into the mid-50s by 10. Mostly cloudy overnight, and eventually upper 40s, maybe even some low 50s for lows tonight. Because again, the clouds, they'll still act as that thermal blanket. They'll do that any time of year. But it's more notable in the winter, where it keeps the temperatures a bit more mild overnight than what we're used to overnight. South breeze 5 to 10. Now again, tomorrow ahead of the boundary, south winds 5 to 10. Behind it, north winds 5 to 10. Showers, better chances before 1 p.m., but a few may linger into the afternoon hours. Not bad Thursday, a bit breezy, warmer on Friday. Not a bad weekend. Yeah, we got some clouds, maybe some evening showers Sunday. Still not bad. But we are watching, and I want to mention next Tuesday. Now at this point, we got to just rain, maybe some thunderstorms. It's still too early to tell because, as you know, getting into March, severe weather season, we're just barely scratching the surface. So we're not in panic mode or anything like that about Tuesday, but there's at least a possibility of some stronger storms Tuesday. So it's something that we'll keep a close eye on for you between here and there. Otherwise, just some more much needed rain. Let's check your forecast. Here's Elise now with Healthwatch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a new study disproves the claim that more young athletes are having sudden cardiac arrests. The misinformation on social media blamed the COVID vaccine for a supposed rise in sudden cardiac deaths, but research published in JAMA found not only have rates of cardiac arrest remained the same, but many of the athletes shown in social media videos died before the vaccines even existed. We know that working the night shift can be harmful to the body, but a new study in the British Medical Journal shows taking melatonin can reduce the damage. Now, people who work the night shift have a tougher time producing the hormone melatonin, which repairs DNA damage. But people who took a melatonin pill an hour before bed improved their body's ability to repair damage, which lowers the risk of certain cancers. Well, researchers say one way to get people to purchase healthier foods is by using scent. Now, a study by the Society of Neuroscience tested pairing odors with nutritional labels on drinks. Now, the drink labels that had a scent were viewed more positively by consumers. The study's authors say this could be used to help people make healthier food choices. And that's a look at Healthwatch. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, city leaders and community members break ground on a new bike park.
And we've got a beautiful day out there, another very warm one at that. We'll have a look at the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Neosho Newton County Library invites farmers out to the Missouri Farmers Market Conference.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday. It is February the 25th. Yes. And it certainly, again, it feels a lot more like late March, to be honest with you.
Doesn't it, though?
It's beautiful weather out there. I managed to go outside and not freeze to death while pumping gas and stuff. Even this morning. I mean, it was chilly this morning. It still is. But at least in Joplin, when I was getting fuel, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going to stay this way for a little while. It may cool down next week, but that's next week.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all right for next week. And even then, it's not going to be like it was last week.
Exactly.
Another beautiful day out there, and it's starting with this beautiful sunrise from downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look at that. Just a few clouds out there, and that is the expectation for us today. Another look at that sunrise from the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Of course, looking back to the east along 20th Street. We're looking pretty good. Folks getting their day underway. And for today, just a few clouds here and there, so mostly clear, maybe even some moments of partly cloudy skies, but otherwise not bad. And winds, they were gusty yesterday. They weren't that bad still, even though they would occasionally gust. Today, they'll even be lighter than they were yesterday. As we go into the later evening hours and overnight, clouds begin to thicken up ahead of those rain chances we have tomorrow. For right now, though, we have a mix of temperatures. Winds are calm, and so we've got a broad range here. We've got 29 in Miami, 39 in Joplin, 48 center, and the warm spot right now is Monette at 43 degrees. So, kids getting on the bus probably want at least a light jacket, talking upper 30s, low 40s, calm winds out there. And then after that, when the bus brings them home, still mostly clear skies, a southwest breeze at about 5 to 10, and we'll go right around 69. That's where we're headed again for our highs. Upper 60s, low 70s, few clouds, southwest breeze 5 to 10. Just another gorgeous day. We'll talk about how long this gorgeous weather lasts and about some rain chances, not just tomorrow, but next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Thanks. Well, Abundant Hope, a local faith-based organization in Grove, Oklahoma, partnered with the health department yesterday. The organization is on a mission to help empower and educate families towards self-sufficiency. Their main focuses are supporting families in crisis, pregnancy, and foster care. A spokesperson says it is a crucial asset to a community struggling with homelessness.
We have the health department here today, and that happens twice a month. A rise that we have seen in our community is the homelessness, and they have figured out where we are, and so they will walk to us, and then we help them. If they don't have a place to stay tonight, we work with our local police department and other resources that can transport them to shelters.
McCorkle says this is the first year this building has been in its location, and she says she needed more space because of the need of the community. Well, people can come by the Joplin History and Mineral Museum to learn more about Langston Hughes. Hughes, born in Joplin, was an African-American poet who discussed themes like inequality, and he was a leader of the Harlem Renaissance. The exhibit is called Harlem Renaissance and the Renaissance Man, and it highlights collaborations between Gordon Parks, an influential photographer, and Langston Hughes. The display chronicles the friendship and history of the two and their contributions to art.
There is a very vibrant Black history for our community, and that is part of everyone's history.
Now, visitors learn about Langston Hughes' life and work through April 30th. Well, Missouri farmers, producers, market managers, and operators made their way to the Neosho-Newton County Library yesterday. The library hosted this year's Missouri Farmers Market Conference. Now, the annual event provides a way for markets from across the state to come together and discuss ideas, tips, and tricks. Now, some of the topics this year were issues with parking, pricing, and whether to allow a lot of bakers or coffee shops in the markets.
I feel I will know it's a success is what's happening already. People are getting their questions answered. How can I find these type of producers? How do I bring in more foot traffic? How can I reach out to Neosho and Joplin, for that matter, do a wonderful job of engaging with their communities from their market, and yet we all can do better.
Now, the theme for this year's conference was cultivating community. A new outdoor attraction is coming to Joplin. City leaders and community members broke ground on the Dover Outdoor Recreation Area yesterday afternoon. Now, the project, funded by the city's Parks and Stormwater Sales Tax, a state tourism grant, and hotel tax revenue, will feature a bicycle single track, BMX pump track, children's playground, and skills features.
I'm really excited for this. I've been waiting a long time for this. Before we would have to drive 30 minutes to Neosho or an hour to Bentonville, and I'm really glad we're finally getting a bike park here.
Construction begins soon with an expected opening in late 2025 or early 2026. Well, this Saturday marks the start of trout fishing season in Missouri, and just in time for annual hunting and fishing permits to expire. The annual 2024 permits expire at the end of February, this Friday. Now, those include small game fishing and combination hunting and fishing licenses. Now, you can buy 2025 permits from any of the Missouri Department of Conservation vendors around the state, online or on MDC's mobile apps.
Missouri Game and Fish Commission, which was the predecessor of the Missouri Department of Conservation that oversaw game hunting and fishing rules in Missouri, and they actually had a fishing season that started March 1st. So for them, things kicked into March 1st, and that tradition of hunting, fishing, the permits that allow that kicking in March 1st kind of went with that.
Now, hunting or fishing without a valid license can lead to fines or even jail time. Invasive species are taking over Missouri's landscape, and experts say the impacts could be devastating. This is Invasive Species Week, raising awareness about non-native plants and animals that threaten local habitats. The Missouri Department of Conservation is educating the public on how to spot and help control invasive species.
When you have a native species that comes on board, a lot of times it hurts that biodiversity. It cuts out some of the food source. It cuts out maybe some of the animals. It nudges out some of the animals that are needed in this food chain. So it hurts the native species. From the human standpoint, they can also cause economic problems.
For more on how to get involved, you can visit the department's online field guide. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Starbucks is laying off workers and scaling back its menu as it tries to turn the business around. And we have a warmer and mostly sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, Apple says it's investing $500 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. The tech giant's plans include the hiring of an additional 20,000 workers in the U.S., a massive manufacturing plant in Houston, Texas, to make servers for the company's artificial intelligence services, and the creation of a manufacturing academy in Michigan. Well, Starbucks employees who will be part of a mass layoff will be notified by today, according to the coffee chain CEO. The company says it's eliminating 1,100 jobs and also several hundred open and unfilled roles as it reorganizes to create smaller, more nimble teams. The layoffs are not expected to affect retail store staff such as baristas. Starbucks is also eliminating 30% of its food and drink menu, targeting items the company says are less popular and more complicated to make. And an iconic childhood favorite, the Ring Pop, is getting a new look this spring. The wearable candy shaped like a giant 3D gem will come in milk chocolate just in time for Easter. Now, the milk chocolate Ring Pop comes in packs of 2 and can be found in Walmart stores nationwide. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a great start to the day. You can see from downtown Pittsburgh a few clouds out there, and that's really how we're expecting most of today to be. Maybe some moments of partly cloudy skies, but otherwise pretty nice. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking great as well. Of course, the roads are looking great, which is fantastic news because after last week, I'm done with it. And I'm sure you folks at home are too. Got another very spring-like day. So again, mostly clear skies, maybe some moments of partly cloudy skies. But as we head into the evening, clouds begin to thicken up across the area and we'll start to go mostly cloudy overnight. That's ahead of those rain chances as we head into Wednesday. But again, today, not looking too bad. Temperatures, though, winds are calm. So we do have a bit of a mix of temperatures, nothing stirring anything around. So best example of the spread we have is 29 Miami, 39 in Joplin. Just a short drive here, and that's a 10-degree difference in temperatures. We got 41 Monette, Cassville, and Bentonville as the warmer spots out there. But all in all, not a bad start to the day compared to where we were a week ago, where temperatures were falling at this point already. We're going to look at about the low 40s, maybe some upper 30s. Kids getting on the bus, mostly clear skies. Winds expected to remain calm. By this afternoon, still just a few clouds here and there, about 69 with a southwest breeze at around 5 to 10. We're going to have another look at your forecast and talk about tomorrow's rain chances here in just a moment. It's also about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break. But first, as we do traditionally, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony Nicole. Coming up on CBS Mornings, the one and only host of Survivor, Jeff Probst, will join us in studio to preview season 48. A lot of surviving going on. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays, and we're going to begin in Jasper with Chris Dudolski celebrating birthday number 3. A very happy birthday to you.
And a happy 9th birthday to Allie Frazier in Webb City.
And in Fort Scott, Tesla Tinsley celebrating birthday number 12 today. Very happy birthday to you.
And in Mound Valley, a happy 16th birthday to Caleb Merrick.
And in Pittsburgh, Allie Carlskin celebrating birthday number 17 today. Very happy birthday.
And a happy 20th birthday to Emmy Giles in Carthage. It says love from Grandpa and Grandma.
And celebrating number 26 with a nice throwback picture here is Alexis Edwards in Girard. It says the mom and family love you. Happy birthday.
Making our way over to Joplin, a very happy birthday to Amber Warner, turning 37 today. It says here that she's Chris's better half, and I would have to agree.
I completely agree with that. I know a lot of folks feel very, very sorry for her that she has to deal with me every day, but I wouldn't trade her for anybody. So very happy birthday to her, and I'm sure we'll be celebrating with some kind of cake or surprise, we're going out to our favorite restaurant a little later today, maybe. Continuing our list, Audrey Green celebrating birthday number 44 today. Says, happy birthday, Mom. We love you.
And a happy 87th birthday to Jerry Alsdorf in Carthage. It says, with love from your wife and all your family.
And Vincel Burke celebrating birthday number 88 today. Happy birthday.
Celebrating birthday number 98 in Sarcoxie. Happy birthday to Maxine Lambeth. It says that she's on the left here, and it says, happy birthday. Love your family.
And in Carthage, Gail Irwin celebrating a birthday says happy birthday from your big sis and family.
And in Carl Junction, a happy birthday to Hayden Collins.
And our list does continue with Randall Gilliford celebrating birthday number 67 in Moundville. Happy birthday.
And in Columbus, a happy birthday to Rosemary Venata.
And in Columbus as well, Pat Nigman celebrating another year wiser, and a last-minute birthday edition. Happy birthday wishes going out to Meredith Murray from Carthage. Very happy birthday to Meredith as well. And, of course, to everyone on our list. Now, for Tuesday, that's a pretty good list.
Fantastic.
And Elise has some information on how you can celebrate with us.
Sure do. Go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@komnewsnow.com. We sure love seeing those wonderful photos and reading those messages, so be sure to include those as well. To, of course, meet the deadline that you see at the bottom of your screen, and to also include the date of your celebration as well.
All of that information is vitally important out there, and so make sure you include it. Now, we have some vitally important information for you as well, and that's this spring-like weather that we're experiencing. Not like that's a bad thing necessarily, but still fantastic. Look at that sunrise downtown Pittsburgh. Got a few clouds. What a beautiful start to the day. Just absolutely incredible. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. And of course, it can't adjust for the bright sun, so it's a little washed out here, but still not a bad start to the day at all. Folks getting their day underway, heading back to the east. There'll be folks coming back to the west, and eventually all these roads will be filled up with so many folks that I don't know where they come from and I don't know where they're going. But it gets busy out there. We're expecting just a few clouds, maybe some moments of partly cloudy skies through the morning into the afternoon. And as we go later into the evening, clouds begin to increase across the area, and they'll go mostly cloudy overnight, and that's ahead of those rain chances tomorrow. Got a little boundary, little wave coming through. So ahead of this boundary, look how big this gap is here. Where their wind shift line is. It's a huge gap. So ahead of it, we're going to have southerly winds about 5 to 10 to start the day. Behind it, northerly winds at about 5 to 10. Now, the good news is, while this boundary is going to bring us some rain chances, it's really more so the cloud cover and the wind shift that's going to keep our temperatures a little cooler. We're not bringing in a polar vortex or any crazy stuff like that, but you can see that temperatures still above normal for most of us, just not as warm as we were yesterday or we will be today, but still not bad. Few showers out there, better chances again before 1 o'clock. Once we get past 1, some isolated showers, maybe a couple of sprinkles still possible, but there's slightly better chances of rain before 1 p.m. As we go later into Wednesday, overnight into Thursday, skies will clear out. They're a little cooler, and then we lose that cloud cover blanket. It's going to be a little cooler to start the day Thursday, a few more 30s, but we'll turn around, warm back up a bit. We'll be similar to what we're expecting tomorrow, maybe just a few degrees warmer on Thursday, but not a bad day at all. And this nice spring-like weather is going to stick around for a little while. Doesn't feel too spring-like for some of us this morning, but it could be worse, because about a week ago, remember, we started in the low 20s, and temperatures were already falling as the snow was working its way in a week ago today, and that's kind of wild to think about. The difference that we've got. So we've got 29 in Miami, and that does appear to be the cold spot on this map. Warm spots at this point are Monette, Castroville, Bentonville sitting at 41. So a little bit of a spread of temperatures. Winds are calm though, so not bad. As we go through the day, again, a few clouds. Another look at that sunrise, by the way, from 7th and Rangeline. Just a gorgeous start to the day. Low 40s to start, near 60 by 11 a.m. And keep in mind, we should be stopping close to 10 a.m. for the warming to be close to normal. So we're going to be, in some cases, almost 20 degrees warmer than average today, which again is not a bad deal considering we were setting record lows a week ago. So we'll certainly take it. Well, now look at your forecast. Talk about some rain chances next week as well here in just a moment. And of course, the news you need to know. And when we make the transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to tell you about a St. Louis family. It's been saved from a house fire, all thanks to their 6-year-old dog.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A multi-county pursuit ends with an arrest. The pursuit starting in Neosho County and crossing into Crawford County, the 29-year-old suspect from Fort Scott was located and arrested east of Pittsburgh. There are no active charges at this time. Andrew M. Reed of Joplin is now behind bars in connection to a shooting investigation. The Jasper County Prosecuting Attorney's Office issued a warrant for Reed for multiple charges. The investigation stems from an incident on February 15th from reports of shots fired in the area of 5th and Joplin. And a police chase in Galena, Kansas ends in a crash. Sunday night, Galena police responded to a call after a resident reported a suspect attempting to break into their home. The suspect was located and led police into a pursuit until the vehicle crashed into a field. The suspect will face multiple charges, including felony stealing and fleeing from law enforcement. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As you head out the door, you'll want that light jacket. A bit chilly, but by this afternoon, you will not need it as we're going right about 70. Mostly clear skies, southwest winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clouds increasing through the evening and into the overnight. Mostly cloudy, but the clouds working as that blanket, keeping the warmer air in. So back into the upper 40s, maybe even some low 50s tonight. South winds 5 to 10. We got those rain chances tomorrow. A little cooler tomorrow and Thursday. Warm and breezy Friday. Not a bad weekend. Keep an eye on those rain chances as we head into next week. Now, we're still a week away from next Tuesday, and severe weather season, of course, kicks off as we get into March and April.
Yes.
Barely scratching the surface, but there are some hints that we could have some strong storms next Tuesday. Just a few hints. Nothing to worry about yet, but we'll keep an eye on it and keep you updated as we get a little closer.
Alrighty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making Boston cream pie poke cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
As your morning news continues on KOM with CBS Mornings, home buyers may finally be seeing a dip in the market. Next on CBS Mornings, Jill Schleichinger has the latest real estate news that could help you get your dream home.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society joins us in the studio with a four-legged friend.
Plus, Charlene Patton also in the studio with another incredibly healthy recipe. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for today. Get out there, enjoy this weather. It's going to be great. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll, of course, see you today at noon.